Guys, what are you guys feeling? The schedule release was done in a different way, an interesting way. It was by kind of like by part one, part two type of deal, and then it comes out and it's announcing the games. After looking at it, I would just say for me, obviously social media, they won because you had so many people paying attention to the release and where it was going to come from and who was doing it. I think it's interesting to how traditional outlets, are being viewed and how that's being handled. But if I'm looking at one, I go with the New York Jets. I mean, the Jets, 7 standalone broadcast windows over the first 11 weeks. Including Week 5, a contest in London against the Vikings. So obviously the decision makers and the schedule makers are looking at Aaron Rodgers part 2 and this New York Jets roster and everything that they got going on. Maybe the pressure on the GM and on the head coach plays a part in the I guess the entertainment value of what the Jets bring to the table, but they're a winner. They got a lot of primetime games where you got guys like the Carolina Panthers that aren't on that list. How did you guys view this? I say the Jets are a winner, but could ultimately end up being a major loser if this season doesn't go the way it anticipated for having the return of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, does it make them a winner because they have a bunch of primetime games?
I mean, the world's going to be watching to see if they're any good.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but who are you playing? And I want to be a winner when it comes to winning the games, not the amount of standalone games that I have. When you number one, when the schedule comes out, it's like, oh, this team is a winner. Oh, this team. This is why the NFL is the greatest game in the world. You don't know who's going to be good. We assume, but there's always 4 or 5 teams. Every year you was like, whoa, where they come from? Now, if we're going to go off of schedule, I'm going to look at it from this perspective. The Detroit Lions play in the Dome. Go look at the Detroit Lions' first 14, 15 games.
Yep, they all inside.
Pretty much all of them are inside.
Controlled environment.
So you have a quarterback in Jared Goff that, for the most part, the majority of the season, he's going to be playing in elements where he knows exactly what he's getting. And so, to me, Detroit, regardless of who you play, you won the schedule because you are not playing outside. You're indoors. Man. They play in Arizona. Oh, Arizona's hot. They can close the roof. They can open the roof. Does it really matter? There's no elements there anyway. And so, to me, when I look at schedule, I like Detroit's schedule because they are a dome team that plays, I believe, 13 of their first 15 games, possibly indoors, when you consider that the Cardinals can either open it or close it.
Hey, TJ, when we talking about Detroit Lions, man, I won't say the same thing. They get the Los Angeles Rams at home. They get Tampa Bay at home. They go to Arizona. They get Seattle Seahawks at home. They go to Dallas, and they get Minnesota at home in their first 6 games of the year.
And that's what. And
that's a possibility.
Seattle, it's great. It's going to be great weather in Seattle. So there's no elements.
No, Seattle Seattle comes to Detroit.
That's what I'm saying. So Detroit. The league is buying and say what you want to say. Oh, they want but like Detroit.
I'll say this: the losers of this 2024 schedule is no doubt the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ooh. Man, I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, man, and they do not play a divisional game until week 11.
Hey,
week 11.
From week 11 on, tell us the schedule.
Man, from week 11 on, they get Washington at Pittsburgh. They go to Baltimore. They get Cleveland at home. They get Cincinnati at home. They go to Cleveland. They get the Eagles at home, and they get the Baltimore Ravens at home. The 6 out of the last 7 games.
Hey.
And I'm gonna say this: I looked at the schedule with Cincinnati Bengals schedule a couple of days ago. By the time that the Pittsburgh Steelers have one regular season game, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens will have already played twice. So they will already know where they need to be at. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm looking at it in a sense from the Steelers' position. So if the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ravens split that series, if the Steelers do not sweep one of those, then there's automatically going to be a three-way tie for first place. So if the Ravens or the Bengals sweep each other, one of those teams, that means the Steelers will be basically 2 games behind by the time they get to week 11. 2 games behind. But it could be a good thing because you already know what you're looking at for the rest of the year.
You know what.
But at the same time, you got 6 divisional games in 7 weeks. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that for a schedule.
Let me ask you guys this, because obviously the star moves the needle. Looking at their schedule, they got the Rams week 1. You think they beat the Rams?
Who? The Lions?
The Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's going to be tough.
Do they beat – and that's at the Rams. So I'm going to give the home team the advantage early on.
I'm going back, Plex. I knew – because I believe the second last game, the Steelers played the Chiefs. Second last game, Steelers played the Chiefs. Crazy. Play the Chiefs. So in between that, we going to go ahead and sprinkle you a little Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, LaVar. Go ahead.
Well, it's preseason, so it didn't matter. So let's go regular season. They got the Browns in Cleveland. Then they have the Saints. Then they have the Ravens. They have the Giants. Then they have the Steelers. Then they have the Lions. They get a bye week. Then they play the Niners, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Texans.
Man, the Cowboys can be around 500 or under 500 after that Texans game. Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Do you see this being a strong year? Because this, to me, is critical mass year for the Dallas Cowboys. Do you see?
Oh yeah, this is it.
This is it, right?
It has to be done this year.
So
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
First quarter of the season, Browns, Saints, Ravens, Giants.
I feel like they're
Can you see them being 2-2? Can you see them being 2-2?
I can.
Steelers, Lions, 49ers. They'll probably win at most 2 of those games.
One
max, maybe
I give
one.
One.
So that right there puts them under 500.
About
you got
a
Eagles,
game or so.
Texans, it's not going to be easy.
But it doesn't seem like it's that crazy of a scale. It actually seems a tad bit favorable for them to have a good year.
The thing that helps the Cowboys will be this, when you look at it. They, for the most part, outside of playing the AFC North, they have the better quarterback in almost every single matchup, minus Dak and Jared Goff will be what. People will take Dak over Russell Wilson, but the Niners, you're going to take Purdy. The Falcons, many may take Kirk Cousins. The Eagles, some will take Hurts, C.J. Stroud. His best bet is their Cowboys' best bet when they play the Commanders. You're not taking a rookie over Dak Prescott. So when they play Jaden Daniels in the Commanders, they play Daniel Jones in the Giants. That's 4 games. And so their division outside of the Eagles gives them, for the most part, probably 4 victories. Probably you're going against rookie quarterbacks in 4 of those games. So not rookies, but the way Daniel Jones plays, many will say it's rookie-ish. But the Cowboys, this for Dak, Jerry has already shown us he's uneasy.
This is it. Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead down to the AFC South because I'm picking the Houston Texans to win in this division, and I think it's 3 games for me that really stand out for this team. And C.J. Stroud, where he will be after the end of the season, where it's all said and done. They get Baltimore at home. He gets to go back to New York and the Jets and redeem himself from last year. He got knocked out of the game. Obviously, the weather was terrible. He ended the game with a concussion, and he gets to play the Kansas City Chiefs. If there is a possibility, there's a possibility that he takes down Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers, we will be talking about this young man arguably being probably the second best quarterback in this league.